Start the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice for all. David, say the prayer.
Father, we come to you this morning asking you to watch over this meeting of our county commissioners and to be with all of our county employees as they go about their duties this week. We hope that everything that we do as the county government is according to your will. In Jesus' name, amen.
Send the search party out.
Minutes.
I've read the minutes and I make a motion we approve the minutes as written.
Second.
It's been motion and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The claims includes the payment to River City of $1,430,557.22. And typically we have a separate motion approving that payment and then approve the claims.
So which one's the Justice Center is what? What's the,
It's $1,430,557.22.
that's my motion.
Motion's been made and seconded, pay the claim in the amount of $1,000,000.
$1,430,557.22.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, and then the claims run itself, the total claims run is $1,745,720.09, and that payment is included in it.
I'll make that motion that we pay the bills in that amount.
I'll second it. Motion's been made to pay the claims and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Check again, I do not have anything from the sheriff on his numbers yet. And I see we do have an AMR person here. I got numbers from Galen, but did you have them too, or
Same ones.
12 and 30?
10 and 21, yes,
Go ahead.
sir. Lewis Loy, AMR, C shift supervisor.
Have a busy weekend?
Actually, this has been a relatively slow week, which is good.
Yeah.
So, according to our numbers, we had 10 transports, 21 callouts, which is significantly lower than pretty much pre-COVID numbers and stuff like that. Still seeing a little bit of the Omicrons, but as far as in where we see, not the health department statement, not in AMR's words, but very, very mild, very, very minor. Most of these people aren't even going to the hospital for stuff like that. We do have 2 people deploying out to Colorado right now to help with vaccines and testing for kind of our FEMA contract, what we do. Other than that, it's been a slow, uneventful week, and I'm sure I'll jinx it just by saying that.
Workforce stayed healthy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So far, yes. Everyone has had it and had the shots, aside from 1 or 2 holdouts, which we're trying to muddle through the federal mandate DLE. There's still a few. We have 1 or 2 are still holdouts, but they're waiting to see what the final is, and I don't think anyone knows what that is. You guys probably know more than me where we are with the federal mandate. You probably know. Yeah, we're holding. We keep getting messages every week. Well, don't fire anyone yet. Yeah, don't fire anyone yet, because we don't want to fire anybody.
Yeah.
Not over something like that. So, any questions?
You guys are moving. Everything going good?
Beautiful. Yes. Oh, and as I always say, I know I'm kind of always positive, but it's awesome. It's great. Our facility supervisor is always there for us, making sure stuff gets done. It's going great over there.
Everything got done at Pleasant.
And it looks beautiful. They took that time to remove all the garbage and the stuff that's probably been there for 20 years. And wow, stations look really good.
Good.
I mean, especially Rick, you've been here for a while. Remember how bad it used to be? Yeah, they're really nice, and we appreciate it. And it's nice to
Good.
come into nice, professional, clean quarters like that.
Now, you're stationed in Pleasant, and doesn't the sheriff and the fire department store stuff over there?
On the other side. Yeah, they have a bay or two on the other side, correct.
Good.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't have anybody else, I guess,
Anybody
here.
else wants to talk to you?
We'll let you get up and give a speech.
I can't. He's too positive.
Did print out that resolution.
Oh, did you? Okay, good.
Hey, you want to do that, or you want to call her first? I've talked to her, and she.
I'm fine with you.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
If you want to,
Hey, there was I want to announce that the airport committee is going to, we hope here in just a second. There's a lady named Cindy, and if I pronounce your name wrong, I apologize. Budine Bundy. She works for Concern down here in Mountain City, and I just talked to some of the committee members. They've called her and talked to her, and she's got past experience of over 30 years as an air traffic controller in 3 different states. And she's also a former Air Force service there as a mechanic, actually, on an F4. And she's willing to join that board and sit on that board. So I think it'll be a great addition. So with me, in Jim's district, I'll let him, if he would, nominate her to sit on this committee, the airport committee.
I'll make a motion, we nominate Cindy Bodine, I guess, is her name, to the airport committee.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
What was the spelling on that name?
Bodine?
BUD.
Budine.
And David, did you have a chance, did Mike Van Black call you or not?
Yes, I've got that.
Okay. Okay. So this Mike Van Black and Joe Turpin and Mindy Cross sit on they're the township elected people. Unfortunately, Joe passed away and we had to appoint him. And
So I've got I actually have
Two things, right.
ready on that.
Yeah.
So I talked to Mike Van Black the other day, and he is wanting to take the clerk position. He's a trustee now.
right.
So I told him I would need a resignation from the position of trustee. And then we have Brian Turpin lined up to appoint as trustee. So what I'd prepared on that was a motion to accept the resignation of Mike Van Black as Lincoln Township trustee and appoint Van Black as Lincoln Township clerk for the first motion.
Okay. I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. It's been moved and seconded. Motion, all in favor?
Aye.
And then the second one I have is a motion to appoint Brian Turpin as the Lincoln Township trustee.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye. And I've been working closely with all of those two on that, so very
That
well.
still leave me short of trustee though, doesn't it?
No, they've got 3. There's only 3 on the board.
It says Mindy, is it Sire?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't.
Is the treasurer.
Mm-hmm.
And now Van Black will be the clerk and Brian Turpin the trustee.
Okay.
So we got all 3.
So the clerk and the treasurer are trustees or are on the board.
Well, they're on the board, yeah. It's just the 3 positions on
I
the
got it.
township board.
I thought there was 3 plus them. I misunderstood.
And I don't know if you could send the statute numbers because we're unfamiliar with the statutes.
Yeah, I looked and I think I've got a pamphlet that kind of goes through duties of township.
And that's for all townships, right? They're all equal as far as, and I don't know that maybe they understand that how the money can be spent. Because if you look up townships in Kansas order, it applies to all different levels of it, but really it's only one function now that we have commissioners.
Right. In some counties, the townships still take care of the road.
Right.
But not in Linn County.
And there's even, goes further and further down the
They are
line.
in Kansas like it. I know Missouri's that
Yeah.
way. but-
Yeah, there are still a few in Kansas that do it that way. And then, I mean, there's various duties included, but in Linn County, we've got several cemetery districts that take care of cemeteries, but we do have still a few of the townships that don't have a cemetery district, so the township board also does cemeteries in their township.
Yeah. So those are some challenges when you got they've got a little chunk of money, how they spend it, and everybody wants some of the township's money if they can get it. So that said, I appreciate Brian, that's Joe's son, I think. I'm almost positive it is, assuming that job. So thank you for that.
Thank everybody for standing up and taking
Yeah.
positions because it takes everyone.
I also just got an email from Doug with the report and along with the note that he's working from home because he's having issues with knee injury, so he's trying to stay off of it. But I've got his numbers here if you want to hear them.
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
Sorry.
let's see here. The email is provide the information to the commission. So, and then there's some more after that, but the report itself is for January 1st through the 17th. Says they have 4 dispatched and canceled en route, 3 building fires, 2 brush or grass fires, 2 motor vehicle accidents with injuries, 2 aircraft standbys, 1 grass fire, and 1 smoke scare. So it'd be a total of 15 incidents. And then his email, so they have an additional 2 times they've been dispatched but canceled before firefighters arrived at the station. So they wouldn't be included in that because it wouldn't count as a run. And there was another motor vehicle accident that turned out to be in Bourbon County. Or that was, one was an accident in Bourbon County and the other was for a landing zone. I think that covers what he sent.
Okay.
David's got a resolution that I prepared. This is on that Thomas Road area where the city of Pleasanton had asked us to make the last 500 feet prior to the city limits 30 miles an hour. We had folks going right up to the city limits at 55.
And this is the one coming in from the south there.
From
Right.
From what?
From Fabcon.
Yeah, okay.
And so we had a traffic study done. Our engineer agreed that was a good thing and gave us a graph showing where the signs should be located. So we need to do this resolution. And basically, the resolution just says that from the city limits south 500 feet, there'll be a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit, and that we'll put up the appropriate signs. The way the law reads is the signs need to go up within 10 days of passing the resolution. We need to publish it one time, and then it goes into effect when the signs are up. Kevin has a copy of this already. I sent it to him. I believe I did. If I didn't, we will. So he'll know to get those put up. So if you're, the city of Pleasanton has reviewed this and they requested it in the first place and they're satisfied with the results of the study. So if you're ready to do this, did he give us a resolution number? I did.
Yeah, it's on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
04.
I make a motion we adopt this resolution number 2022-04.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Hi.
I used to live in that house right there and had a dog killed because the speed limit was so fast.
You talk about that road too on the south, I did talk to the State Department and they said they wasn't against anything. They wasn't gonna put anything there, but they mentioned that maybe we could use a flash sign like the schools have,
On up the
yeah,
roadway.
up the road a ways if we chose to. And he was supposed to get with me to somebody to tell us what the cost would be, but that was solution. He said that maybe we could get that. It's their solar panel where we'd have a flashing light there to come back to 7 Iowa or 52 Iowa. So he said they wouldn't put anything up for it, but they didn't have objection. with
What would we do, Gary? Just kind of,
We'll talk to Kevin and, cause, our original request was to put something at the intersection. Kevin said, I can't do that. But if they're willing for us to put something,
They said they didn't have any problem with us putting something there is what,
okay,
the superintendent said, but
we'll talk with Kevin then.
that was his
And
recommendation.
have him, put together a plan for putting something there to verify with them that they're not going to oppose it, and then to get a cost for you. Does that sound reasonable? Okay.
thanks for doing it.
Anything else?
Just want to update you on, we've had a request to, declare a piece of 1200 Lane minimum maintenance. This is one where they originally asked us to close it, and we are not going to do that, but we are going to declare it minimum maintenance, or at least open to that. So what I've got here is the agreement we asked them to sign. Since there's several of them on there, and they want to gate it, we just combined it all into one agreement for them to sign. They have all signed it, all the property owners. And so our next step then would be to give notice that we're going to have a hearing on declaring minimum maintenance. I have circulated this agreement, or rather my proposed resolution. I didn't circulate the agreement. I've circulated proposed resolution to the mapping department, the sheriff's department, road department, and sign department, to see if anybody has any comments. I just did that over this last weekend. So if whatever comments I get back, should be in the next day or two, then we'll be ready Monday to pass an order or a motion to hold a hearing. And I'd like to hold the hearing. I looked at the publication and the so forth. I'm suggesting we hold the hearing on the 21st of February, because that gives us a chance to publish it the week after next and still have a couple weeks before the hearing. So
What happens later down the road, Gary, if a landowner changes and they decide they'd like to build theirs?
well,
What,
they could come in and tell you that they want to build there and they want that gate taken down. You could reverse that at any time, that gate situation. Now, the minimum maintenance, that's a permanent deal. And they need to understand that. But the agreement says that the parties acknowledge that the permission granted by the county commission to gate the road may be withdrawn at any time, that the commission deems circumstances have changed, or that it appears to the commission to be in the best interest of the public to withdraw such permission. So
so the landowners can't come back and say later that,
Right.
we can start taking maintenance of the road back over.
right, it'll still, if you take the gate out, they got to take it out, but it'll still be minimum maintenance. And anybody who buys there will buy knowing that it's minimum maintenance.
What road was it?
It's 1200 Lane from Phillips Road east to the east line of section 21.
Jackie, if your road went all the way through, does it connect to that road?
No. It's a gap there. We signed this, you and I received it.
What he's here for.
I also have some things for a legal executive session at your convenience.
Richard, do you have something that you? Okay, well, I guess we've got, superintendents are coming at 10. If we got executive session, we could do that now.
Yeah, that'd be good. I've got at least 20 minutes worth, maybe more.
Okay, what do you got?
Probably tack on another 10 in personnel.
10 personnel. You have 20
20 legal, yes.
legal.
Be done, please.
Yeah. You want that? So what about this? Then we got the other for personnel.
Yeah, and that was one that Morgan will be over because it was really a Sean deal and.
So we'll wait till 11 to do that. And
Or, well, see how we're doing. I mean,
Okay.
if we can get them in earlier, it'd be fine, but.
so we'll go then executive session for 10 for personnel with David and 20 legal with Gary.
I think we do that. Do you have something?
No, he said he didn't.
Well, you know, I'm here, I got elected to be the chair of the planning zoning board. And I'm gonna try to make these as often as I can. I can't make it every time, I got other stuff that I do, but I'll try to be here as much as I can, because I think there's been some miscommunication and some lack of communication along the way, so I'll just be here whenever.
Okay, sounds good.
Do-
Thank you.
Should we have a commissioner present on each one of those?
No,
No?
let them do their thing. That's my
No,
recommendation.
I just, okay.
So we'll go in for 30 minutes now and see where we're at. 10 with David personnel and 20 with legal.
That's your motion? I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Jackie, there was no action from executive sessions.
Nothing productive.
Yes, we have the superintendents here to talk about the resource officers. Like, you guys like to come ahead? You want to sit up here to speak at the mic or stand up?
Just come up to the table if you would. Sit right here and talk.
Been a while since I've heard this. Oh, yeah, give me the mic.
You can get better quotes that way.
Start or?
Go ahead.
Well, since I was in the paper this week, my board had several questions here, or a couple questions here, I believe. One of them asked, if you call a 911, how much does that cost the county for each cost or each run? Does that cost? And I would like to know that. We know that there's 20, in the paper last week said 22 contacts per day on the SROs across the 6 buildings. That's almost 4,000 per year. That doesn't put aside, not just the contacts that are actually listed every day. It's not, I like the presence of the SRO in the building. I like the presence of the SRO cars outside as a deterrent. And then I like our kids look forward to seeing our SROs every day. Maybe not so much at the high school level, but I know at the elementary level they do, and they have some contact there with those every day.
I could speak to that if you don't mind me
ahead.
interrupting, Rex. We have had no SRO in our elementary school this school year because there's a change and the current SRO is being trained and it has not yet taken over into that elementary setting yet. And so we've gone an entire semester plus without an SRO on our elementary campus. The lack of that individual is noticeable. Kids literally will ask, where is Clayton, who referring to the old SRO? The relationship that they had with that individual was immensely impactful. They see an authority figure in a different light than what they would see a police officer on the street. They see that individual in a light that is caring and nurturing and impactful. And we've seen a real lack of some good social emotional relationships this past semester in the fall, due to not having an SRO. So that program is very, very important.
I don't think any of us ever said that it wasn't for the program.
Sure.
I don't think you've heard that from any of us. And I hear you guys talking this. What is it worth to you guys to have that? That's what I'm asking you guys. We buy into it and help us a little bit. It just, to me, you guys talk it, and I appreciate, your point of view, and I respect that. But if you guys think this is so good, buy into it and help us a little bit.
So something I've done this year, I think the sheriff made you guys aware, I was able to get a little grant for some social and emotional stuff. And was able to send a check for $3,500. Did you guys get that memo?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the memo.
Appreciate that.
So I'm able to do that, and you guys know, I've got a forced valuation for school district. Reached out, offered, I want to try to barter, maybe help you guys with some stuff that you guys have going on to maybe offset the cost. I visited with Danny after a board meeting about, I think it was about the same time you guys had in the paper, some facility issues with the Pleasanton and Congregate Mills. Maybe we could have I've got a room in mind that we could post that for you guys, save you guys that cost. So, I've got some ideas I'd like to bring to the table. And I visited briefly with Jim one afternoon. I know I visited with Danny and we talked about some things that could even help. I've got experience with computer networking, for example, myself personally, offered to help. You guys get ready to move into the building, be more than willing to personally come over and help move servers, set servers up and stuff. Some ideas that I had for cost savings for forest facilities that you can do with your contract. But it's too late now because all the wiring's already done, but I'd mentioned that back before it started. We saved a lot of money ourselves on our project by doing our own computer cabling. When it's all said and done, we ended up saving about $1 million with some of the cost saving stuff that we were able to find on our building project. So we've got some ideas. I don't have a lot of money, but I think if we've got some ways to help offset that, that's the same as money. Because if it's still saving you guys money, that's your end goal, I assume.
What do you guys think that resource officer costs the county? Your 9 months a year. What do you guys have any?
So we're in school 161 days a year. So he's there for us 161 days. So I would assume it's probably around hourly wage would be less than $20 an hour. Benefits, I don't know what you guys pay for benefits, but I mean, you could do the math.
He's setting you up. He knows what to tell him.
I'm just asking if you guys know, and car expense. I mean, it's what we're asking for.
So
We're not asking for a fourth of what it's costing us.
our budget's all sort of fixed. We can't, I mean, without going out for a no-fund warrant, we can't increase our budget just to get.
And where I'm at on that is, you know, the program ain't been assessed in 7 years since it started until I came in and, Kevin and I came and talked to you about it. I don't think anybody's ever asked a question about it, you know. And we all know that there's a big issue that happened with it. I feel like that if you guys are bought in, I'm not saying that this wouldn't have happened, but I feel like that, you know, it's like if you buy a car, if my mom bought me a car or I bought a car, which one am I going to take care of better? The one that you have money invested in. That's my opinion. And I look at Pleasanton, I see you guys just bought Old Coxon, but I look at Prairie View, a brand new $1 million add-on every single year, and the Mountain City did the same thing out here on the concession stand. I don't think 12,000 is a lot to ask.
So
I mean, I think
I was going to say, I'm going to interrupt you. You said we bought the building. We're paying for the building for 12 years because we don't have the money to pay for the building.
I don't know how all that
And
works.
I've also got $90,000 grants to renovate the building and get it ready for the county to have a trade school.
And it's just like, I can go one step further, you know, have you been by Montrose since they tore the power plant down? And I think, you know, everybody talks about 2032,
Nobody's doubting.
you know, and that's gonna happen. It isn't when, or if, it's when. And I tell you, we stayed revenue neutral on our, actually dropped it, what, $1.5 million, David? You know, and we're trying to budget down the road because when the power plant leaves, this county's in trouble.
Like,
You know,
let's
and-
talk about the Pleasant and Concord Mills, for example. I've got a spot we could put in. I've offered to also provide meals while school's in session. I know that probably throws a wrench in the contract you guys have with your meals, but that's an offer I have. Either way, it's saving money for the county. That's the long range plan. Got to save money. I completely understand that.
Well, I understand and I hear from you guys, and I've talked to multiple people in this county. I mean, it's hired school teachers, I've talked to school teachers, and everybody loves the program. I haven't heard anybody tell me, except the way we do it, sometimes they think we can do it cheaper. You know, there would be a way we could do it cheaper as far as concealed carry or whatever you wanted to do there. You know, I don't know your insurance deal, but I'm asking you guys that if $12,000 an officer, you're not paying a fourth of it.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous that we're sitting here asking for 12,000.
For $12,000. I've had multiple people tell me I'm crazy asking for 12. They should
You know,
be paying more.
I would have, if it would have been my issue, because I think you know the story. I was sitting there as already elected, just waiting to take office in January, and I would have voted no on that project because you have an elected school board, and their decision was made very easy by the sheriff because that was his campaign that he ran on, and he said, I want to put SROs in the schools instead of holding the schools accountable as far as wanting to go in a program together. We didn't. We just jumped in the way we jumped in. And there was, granted, there was some free grant money right off the bat, and that money, of course, dried up as years went by. But I mean, I can tell you there's a school in Olathe right now that doesn't even have an SRO.
You don't
And
have to go very far west. There's a whole county that don't have.
so
No, I mean,
and I can tell you the school later. I won't tell you in here, but I think it's a value. I agree that it's nice to have those kids in there that love to communicate, and they're a quick resource in case something happens. A parent gets out of hand or whatever, or tries to pick up a kid that that he's not supposed to even be around or whatever, and those situations can be de-escalated right off the bat. And we're accustomed to that. And that's my frustration. That's why I never said anything along the 7 years. I figured it was a done deal. We're always going to have to pay this. But the issue came up, and I'm in support of asking for a little support. I would have asked for a lot more if it would have been me. But the way we ended up figuring this out of $12,000 per year is really not much at all. So, I mean, I'm behind that as well. I don't think it's a showstopper for anyone that contributes.
I know that's what I don't think. I don't think it should be even just a bump in the road for you guys because for what it costs.
And I agree that I'm sorry, Rex. I agree that the taxpayer's paying the same thing. I understand that. It's tax money. But if that was the case, why wouldn't you just pay it all? If that's all it is tax money. If you take on your own program and do your own thing. But we've offered this, and you've got all the security that we think we can give you with the security of that SRO, and you've got the sheriff's department behind you, and your kids love it, and your parents love it. So $12,000 a year to me is, and I'll leave this alone from here, but that's kind of where I stand on it.
So let me compare that $12,000 for you in my district, if we have to do a no fund to fund it. In our district, in Danny's district, it's gonna cost about $0.6 mil to fund for one SRO in our district. For our district to fund all the SROs, it will cost $0.25 mil. Is that what you came up with earlier?
Yeah, it was $0.25 mil.
So it's gonna cost our district twice as much to fund one SRO at $12,000 as it is to fund all 6 of them countywide.
And I think where he's getting at here, and that's my point that I was trying to make at, is the flexibility of where this comes out of. The way it's proposed right now, it can only come out of 2 funds, supplemental general or general fund in our budgets. All of us are tapped out on those ends. I mean, that's where our teacher salaries and all that come out of. I think we asked earlier in the earlier meeting, is there any way possibly that we could, the only way we can shift it to capital outlay, and we have a lot more flexibility in that.
That's where the cars came in, and we caught a whole block over that deal.
So I understand that too as well. So, I mean, like I said, what Travis's point is we have to take it out of general, supplemental general. We're looking at raising individual taxes.
What's your proposal? Do you have one?
Not yet, but,
We've talked about this for a few months. It wasn't like we
I understand.
I mean, it's
we have 3 different boards of education. So
I understand.
I just don't like how this 3 are being attacked as we don't want the SRO program. And, when little incidents happen in the school, it turns around that it's because of us not wanting the SRO program. That's not the case at all. I 100% want it. And it's just comments on Facebook that I've read and stuff and took it personal. But, I 100% want it. I mean, I would like just a little help on it. My ultimate goal is like the power plant. It's going to be gone. You have a massive school. I mean, Travis is going to be okay. I believe in my district it's going to be okay. We should be fine. I'm scared altogether. So I'm trying to. It's kind of like the hospital district. I wish it was countywide instead of just up there in Lacine. I want it to be countywide because we don't have a plan for when the power plant closes.
But I don't think the $12,000 is, we rushed to come to this decision based on the power plant closing.
No, I'm just saying in general. I mean, that's where my ultimate goal is to get to a plan and
right.
Let things, roll on their own. And that's kind of where I'm at on it.
So my proposal is the same thing I've offered months ago. I would love to try to help trade some stuff out to save the county that money. I think we could save the county that much money and then some.
I think we're just trying to save the county money here, and we all live here, and we're all spending taxpayer money. I mean, whether it's you or us, we're just trying to make it better for the people of Linn County, and I believe your money comes from the state, a pretty good chunk of it, right?
Decent chunk, yes.
Yes, instead of just here in our county.
Some of it comes from here, some of it comes from state.
Well, it does, but the majority of it comes from the state, probably, right?
A lot of it does, yeah.
Okay.
Well, a lot of it's generated, 20 mils of it's generated for the general fund through here, from here, and then whatever else we have in supplemental general. So the majority of it probably comes from here, but it goes to the state. On the general fund, it's kind of tricky. It goes to the state.
And then they send it back.
Anything you guys collect here for the 20 mils goes to the state, they send it back to us in the form of state aid. So it's really, whereas, when was it, about 5-6 years ago? Well, probably more like 7-8 years ago, the county used to keep the general fund money, and then we'd get that tax money directly to us.
It's still coming from our residents.
Still coming from our residents, but it's going up there first. They're adding a little bit to it and sending it back to us.
Well,
So,
I just feel as a commission, we've tried to cut back and, stand revenue neutral, and we're trying to.
Understood.
Is what I'm saying is, and I think as a commission, for us, the three, I guess I'm speaking for them too.
What, so could I help with those things I mentioned?
I got a question for you real quick. Whenever you had, was it Dick George when I was, I believe.
Yeah.
What, he was on your guys' payroll, right?
yeah, he was on our,
What did he make? I mean, are we saving a lot of money? I mean,
up to us to run our own programs would be, to be more of a cost for us, so. But be open, I'll tell you that, it'll cost us a heck of a lot more. I suggested to my board at the last meeting that maybe we have a joint meeting with all three boards in the commission, but driving down here today, I'm thinking that's almost impossible to get through. Three boards of education together and you guys together too.
Yeah.
I thought maybe a better idea is just maybe you guys appoint a committee member or something like that, and all three of us and that committee member get together and come up with something. So,
I guess I'm speaking for our board. I think we've made our decision on what we say or what we think is fair to us for you guys to help us out on this situation.
What would that, and I agree,
I was looking at it from a negotiation standpoint, so,
but you would
because we
want,
negotiate with our staff all the time.
I know, but
But I think
negotiating over $12,000.
if we negotiate anything, it's gonna go up, the way I feel. I'm like,
I mean,
it's pretty much on the low end, and if we negotiate.
It's
anything-
almost embarrassing to talk about it right now since the program costs so much. And just to ask the school boards to contribute in, not even a fair share, but just a share.
Well, these figures, you guys can take a look, and that is no car expense at all.
and he really, usually I guess the SRO car's been there for 7 years, right?
Yeah, and I understand from your minutes, Rex, you guys, 25,000 a car when you started.
Yes. I believe it was.
So in 7 years, I'd say your car's gone. It's,
I don't think it's a matter of whether you're paying with the value of a car, if
Right.
that'll change your funds. It's just a matter of getting the value of the $12,000, however.
I don't think if you showed it as a car.
Yeah.
If they showed it as a car and then it went into the sheriff's budget, what happens then? How's that work?
Well, you wouldn't want to do that. I don't think it'd be sidetracked.
Well, the initial proposal that you sent out did have it structured so that you were reimbursing the county for a car or part of a car.
Yeah.
And
That got all twisted.
that was not well received.
That was not well received at all.
But if it gets you in a different fund where it doesn't cause you to go out and
Well, that's true, but at the same time, trying to explain to our boards, like, this is gonna go for money for a car versus employees' wages, you see what I mean?
What about all the additions everybody's doing to all their schools?
those are bonds.
Those are bond, those are,
And we can talk here, David will understand. Sorry.
those have been gone up for election. It's not something that we just automatically, we have to take it to election of our people to get it.
The average on the benefits, that is just basically the premiums, right, David?
We're self-funded health insurance group, so our actual costs are probably higher than that on benefits, but that's all we can nail down by employee. It's just a
So our benefit cost is actually more than that on the average. copy of that.
But I just want to get clarified, you guys don't want to take me up on any of the offers that I've brought to the table.
Not on this deal, I don't, I guess, because we get to trading back and forth on that. What, how do you guys feel?
And Danny was supportive of it when I talked. I mean, I can save you more than the $12,000 charging for SRO. Again, you can already see I've worked to get the grant for the sheriff's department, $3,500 grant that I did receive, so.
I mean, how would that, I'm not, like, say they did go to your cafeteria and eat every day. What about the summer months?
We still have a room available. That's what I was saying during the full year, we have a room available. During the times that school's not in session, we don't have anyone there on contract to cook.
That would be a problem for us. I mean, if we set it up to where we gotta have it for people, Rick understands that more than I do because he's on that.
You guys brought it in, right? So we've got warmers and all that stuff. We take care of that piece. If I give you the host site, right now you guys are paying for a building for utilities and so forth for a host site, and we could provide that. Maybe renovations, I heard that there's maybe renovations possibility.
May I just say something? This isn't my role here exactly to get involved in the discussion. I'm just trying to facilitate. What I hear you saying is that you're open to negotiating, and what's the path to negotiation? Is that what I'm hear you saying, Rex?
I mean, that's what I feel.
Yeah. And the view that I hear you expressing of negotiation is to put a group together and do that. I think you're saying the same thing, except your view of negotiation is, okay, we've made an offer, now what's your offer? And so I think you're both really at the same point. In terms of what Travis wants to do, that's kind of a side issue, I think. Not an unimportant issue, but a side matter.
Well, the negotiations on the price of it, I mean, I guess I'm talking for myself. It isn't gonna get cheaper as far as my negotiation, because I don't think we're asking for much. If anything, it's gonna go up if I move towards negotiation with you guys. And I mean,
I already paid a chunk of it, so I mean, off the grant I received, so I mean, just trying to help with some other ways to save money for the county.
What's your thoughts, Rex?
I'm not so much worried about the price. What I'm worried about is how am I going to pay for it? And that's what I want to sit down.
Okay.
And that's what I want to negotiate is, I mean, I want to be able to talk and bounce back and forth ideas freely to where we can figure out where we want to put these funds from. So, and there's,
so you're
for that,
content with the 12,000 is what you're saying?
this is me personally, and
Right.
this is something that I could recommend to my board. I'm content with that. So, but at the same time, I'm not content with it if it's in the proper form, I mean, the present form that you guys have done that, because now I'm looking at it as coming out of my supplemental general and my general fund. So, which directly affects our core business of what we do. So if I can figure out some way of taking those funds somewhere else, or when I say taking those funds, but utilizing different budgets, budget funds to utilize it.
It's how we get to a point where we can justify our budgets. Because our money is tied up to some very specific things, just like yours is.
Right.
I mean, we would have to have a plan in place to say this is where that 12,000 is going to come from, and still not hurt what our core values and beliefs are coming from our current.
Is that from another board meeting for the school board you're talking about as well,
Pardon?
to figure that out?
No, I thought you mean as far as where we want to take it from?
Yeah.
No, I think that's something that we could probably figure out where to come from on our own. It's just,
And then you have to take it to your board.
we have to take it to our board and say,
So-
this looks like,
Looking down the road, if something is to happen to this power plant, this whole county's gonna change.
I understand.
As far as what we do. And
That's why I would be concerned signing a multiple year contract. So we don't know what 5 years is gonna bring to the power plant, for example. And I am completely realistic, but I understand if that power plant goes, we probably will not have SROs in our building. That is completely in my mind. I don't know anybody in the county that wouldn't understand. Good cuts that have to be made. I mean, if you guys are gonna lose your budget, potentially.
Well, what if we do, Gary, if we sign the multi-year contract, but we can change our mind? I mean, that just,
Well, you could have a multi-year contract with any party having the option to
Opt out.
to opt out at any
of the program.
time.
Because I did have a board member voice concern on the 5 years. So.
Yeah, and that was the negotiation. That was the position. I mean,
That was the position we took, but I don't see a problem with it.
So to give you a fair shake too, something you consider is, when could you three get back together with us on if you've worked something out?
We're going to take it out of.
Yeah, and not like we had a board meeting so many months ago. Could we schedule one now, as far as, is it February we could get together again and have this figured out? And I always point to Gary because he's always sitting there. But could he be our point of contact with
fine with me.
would you do that?
I can.
Okay.
Point of contact.
Yeah, in case you guys have questions or ideas or whatever. And so you're not, we're not like missing calls and all three of us got different opinions. He keeps us normally pretty straight.
Speaking from my board, they were the ones that suggested we try to come up with some ways to barter. We could have skin in the game. Myself offering my personal services in IT to assist with that. Is that a possibility? I haven't seen anyone say yes, and I haven't seen any Ted say no to that. But
Well, we have an IT person. In the
Yeah, we're confident we've got our IT person.
we have our IT
know
person.
what kind of task it's going to be for him to move everything over,
Mhm.
and I'm willing to help if needed. So just throwing that out there. But if congregate meal piece, I don't know. If you guys
What's your thoughts on the congregate meal piece, Danny? That's your area, and that's something that we was going to address. Well, I mean, it's over there in Pleasanton, because I mean, it was brought up several times.
The building it needs to go, in my opinion. I think it costs us too much money. I mean, you guys know that I've said it since day one. The community center, or that could be an option, I guess.
What's the building cost you?
I think I had all the numbers. I think it was like 10,000 a year or something like that. And it just keeps, I mean, it's just getting worse. We're kind of secluded down to one room now. So they deserve a good building. So I think it would work
Let me
good.
show you the room.
I mean, would they be with other kids and things like that, be able to interact with them, or?
Well, there's two options. They could eat in the cafeteria, an area in the cafeteria where they could still see kids and stuff. Or I have another room that would be completely separated that they could eat. If you want to swing by later this afternoon, check it out. To the area.
I mean, I'm not opposed to that. I'll talk to that group of people anyway.
So when could we meet back again in February?
Well, our meetings are on the 14th. 14th.
So that following Monday, maybe?
Following Monday is President's Day.
So you'd be on Tuesday.
Tuesday then.
I should be available on Tuesday.
So you guys could have an answer for us by then. I mean, as far as,
Where you seeing?
22nd. Yeah. I'm looking at the calendar.
I knew he was cheating. That's like, you remember President's Day.
no, I'm looking at it's President's
So,
A special talent.
yeah.
10 o'clock again?
Yeah.
You good with that, Sean?
And then you want us in the meantime to get together and communicate through Gary.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Danny's going to swing by this afternoon.
You can call any of us. I mean, I'm sure nobody's going to hang up the phone on y'all, but I mean, he would be a good point of contact.
Please, to relay to you guys, the board is we're not against the program. We want to.
No, I'm not. I'm not against the program. I'm not, but I just, like I say, you guys get the use of it and you all love it. And what is it worth to you? And I think if you look the numbers over, I don't think we're asking for too much.
This helps a lot. This helps a lot to understand.
And you go off the benefits, that's on the cheap end of the benefits. And there is no car expense at all in there.
I will tell you, we pay $5,500 towards benefits. For our staff.
A little higher
So
than that.
your
Like six,
staff here at the county is doing very well for benefits.
75.
We have good benefits.
You guys got anything else?
Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Brett.
Oh, maybe noon or one,
I've
probably.
got a 1 o'clock, but that's just me, the guy to live in North.
Okay. Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming in.
I'll shake your hand. Don't squeeze, please. I got a bad hand. You got a bad hand. All right. See you guys. Thanks.
Thank you. Hey, can we take a 5-minute recess?
Make a motion, we have a 5-minute recess.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
You're in trouble every day.
Oh, well. Just add it to my bill.
Think of that new truck, that new, what did you drive, a Mercedes now?
Yes, yeah. I drive a 2004 Chevrolet.
That's what you drive here. It's when that garage door opens.
The three that's sitting in the truck, in the garage.
You say, no neighbors out here yet.
Ready for cold weather? Gonna be cold in the morning.
Yeah.
Chilly. Gonna be chilly. Can't go out in your pajamas now. Feed your cat.
Trying to feed them before that stuff hit.
I tell you what,
Feed them before that stuff hit.
there was some rumbling last night. That was good though.
It was good.
That conversation wasn't good enough that I wanted to know if he wanted to sit on the board.
Did you get a possum?
Oh yeah, of course I did. I know. It's all. I gotta find somebody for my health department. I need a nurse. His wife's a nurse. Very well liked.
Where we at, David?
You back?
We're about a minute.
Okay.
Are you coming to talk about the mail?
Yeah.
come and ask for a mail truck, didn't you?
I guess we'll start back. Rick, you got something?
Yeah, I got a few things. I'm Rick Castle with maintenance and custodial staff. I'm looking down the future on a lot of things that I'm gonna bring up to you. Some of it real near future. But, the snow blade, I'd like to see one put on a four-wheel drive truck where we can use.
Have you checked, do we have one at any of the,
We don't have one for any of our four-wheel drive trucks in the county.
okay.
The reason why is the new Justice Center. I don't think the dump trucks, I don't know the layout of the parking lot yet. But I don't think a big dump truck's gonna be able to push a lot of the area for the Justice Center. But a lot of times the road crew don't get to the county courthouse over here to push it off. We don't push off the parking lot for our justice, our sheriff's office and stuff over here now. But if we could get a blade on a truck or we could push it before some of them get here at 6:30 in the morning, get that pushed off. I was just hoping maybe I could see about, before I went and got bids, what your guys' thoughts was. But with the four-wheel drive truck and a snow blade on one of the county trucks that we have already, I don't care. Where we can push around fire stations, senior centers, and also the health,
Who's gonna do that? You?
me or some.
He's not gonna be here.
But that was one of the biggest complaints is sometimes the county trucks don't get out here before we get people in our parking lot.
Did you check on prices on those at all?
I had.
Okay.
But I didn't know I was wanting to see what your thoughts was first. Because a snow blade would be pretty easy to throw on a truck that already exists. The lawnmower that Danny uses all the time, we got close to 1,300 hours on. I know, that Parks was in here a while back talking about new lawnmowers. I was wondering if we could buy two. If we got bids, I know, talking to her, she's already went out and got bids. But if we bought two, it would probably be a little cheaper because, of all the buildings that we're already mowing, senior centers and some of the road barns and stuff. And I know the fire department has hinted back and forth to me quite a few times about mowing some of their areas as well. That's putting more work on us.
We even talked earlier about that as far as contracting someone on that.
I'm still way in favor of doing that.
Yeah. Line buildings, is that an option?
Sure. That's an option. I mean,
I know we had contracts on some of the senior centers before, but some of them, just didn't get mowed on some areas and stuff like that. And we had complaints about it, but so I sent Danny out to get these areas taken care of. That way we don't, we stop on the complaints. We've created more work for us. The other thing is the county park house up there, and a lot of the roofs up there need to be replaced or tin roofs on them. That county park house is in very bad shape. That it needs to be addressed before we have a lot of roof leaks. And then we already got a lot of problems down in the basement of it that is going to have to be fixed sometime down the road for anything else that we want to do. The cabin houses, we remodeled all them outsides. I've done a bunch of work on the insides too. The roofs on them, didn't get lucky with the hailstorm that went through, but if we put metal roofs on some of them, maybe prolong issues there. Because I'm going to plan on ordering some more pedestals for the county park, because some of them, I think I've replaced 3 or 4 of the electrical pedestals up there. And I know we had a camper here a while back that backed into one, which don't help us any. But the old wiring in the county park, we replaced some of the areas in there, and I have run conduit in a lot of it. And not a lot of it, but in some areas that I've redone, because that whole wiring up is aluminum underground buried wire. And so some areas we've already redone, but eventually there's gonna be other issues with that old wiring because it's been in there since the eighties or whenever that park originally opened. So future wise, you're gonna look at a lot of issues there. One of the other things is the courthouse here. I already got a bunch of rotted wood up on the steeples. Wood fell out. I showed Danny last year. But if we don't address some of that issue up there and get a contractor to fix it and get it painted and take care of it, we're gonna lose more of it.
There's some structural issues with the brick as you're walking up the back stairs up to the left on the second story.
Yeah, there's some brickwork issues on that building too. And then one of the other things, our senior centers, we've been helping them out off on. Our poor ladies, they're older. Some of them can't swing mops and stuff, so we've been trying to help out there. But one of the other goals that we're wanting to do too is go in, try to do as much as we can and re-wax the floors and clean them up as much as we can and put a good finish on them. Hopefully the floors last a lot longer. Parker, that floor up there drives me insane. It gets a moisture that comes up through the concrete floor, and the glue residue that's in underneath that tile, it will come up through when it gets moisture in that concrete, and it just leaks out. I've cleaned that floor myself and re-waxed it. Then all of a sudden we got ready for.
We talked to Sean about that. I don't know if we ever got any bids on it yet or not, but
But I don't know what we can do even on that
putting a
because
different floor down or
Do you
anything.
think the water table's sitting underneath the slab causing them to do that?
it's drawing moisture for somehow, Danny, which creates that to stay soft and pliable. And it just, at different areas in the floor, it will just, that glue will just come out of that floor tile. Me and Danny's talked about it. We're gonna try to get in there before weather changes and try to get, re-scrub that floor and put a good coating of floor finish on that and trying to lock that down, but I don't.
On the outside of the building, you got grass that has positive drain away from the building? On each
The building
elevation?
sets up high on gravel.
Oh, it does?
The pad does. So, and it's got good drainage all the way around it, but it does create a very poor moisture contents that comes up through there. And I don't know how to stop it. I really don't. Somebody sharper than me, I'd be glad to take suggestions or whatever on that floor. But the other buildings, you know, we're just gonna try to make them look nicer. The 4-H building, I've got the kitchen area is done now and the outside is all done. I've been converting it to LED lighting. 4-H council has got ceiling fans they're supposed to be going after to purchase for me to put up new ceiling fans in there. And I'd like to get the rest of the building inside converted to LEDs. It's a great expense. I know that because it costs quite a bit to do that. But once it's done, hopefully our light tapers off. I've got quite a bit. I got all the road shops are done, Pleasanton, on converted over. And I've been converting some of the fire stations already, converting them over to LED too. So I'm trying to get as much of them done as I possibly can, but I know it adds up cash flow on buying bulbs. So that's all I really got for you.
On cleaning the senior centers, they pay people, do they not?
They do, but every once in a while I get a work order asking to go in and do an extra cleaning because technically and I love the ladies that's in there, but honestly, some of them, Danny, they have a hard time mopping that whole area and they only got a certain amount of time to be able to do it because they only get paid a couple hours.
And this might sound kind of mean, but I feel like that's their problem up there in Ottawa.
I know, but I'm just letting you know that I go out there to try to do my best to please our taxpayers too and keeping them buildings up to date.
And who they hire sometimes is not by, you only have us
You only have a select people that will do it.
that will even possibly do it, and so they,
So what I guess I'm getting at is, should we just pull whatever we pay them each year to have a lady clean that, and we just hire in because we're gonna have to do something about this jail anyway, and a lady to come in and clean, and the health department.
We know that's in the real near future, that can't keep up with everything. Me and Dan.
We've dropped the overall spending. I mean, we used to pay 50-some thousand dollars to area on aging, and we dropped it to 25, and they've never balked at that. I mean, because all this COVID money has come in over time, so I don't look at that changing. So I mean, we've dropped 25,000, and for what they do, I think it's pretty beneficial.
I mean, and I guess where I'm at, like on the mowing and stuff, I feel like that. I feel like that maintenance and janitorial is two different departments.
I
I
agree
think we
with
got to
you
break that up.
there. I don't disagree because I tried to do most of the maintenance myself, and I leave. Danny does the mowing and painting what I ask him to paint, which he repainted a bunch of the buildings up there at the park. And you know, when the poor guy run into our building over at the senior center at Blue Mound, I redone all the outside and the inside work, and then I had Danny come in and paint. Or at the AMR building up at Lacine, you know, I had Danny up there painting too, and trying to keep up as much maintenance wise as we can, and trying to keep people clean and happy here too. Sometimes is a struggle because I get out on a call, I don't always get over here.
By eliminate, I'm sorry, Jim. By eliminate, if we were to eliminate your mowing issue completely, would that?
That'd free up a lot of time. Yes.
How about let's put a contract out, see if we can't get,
How many? Yeah,
give us a list of the places we've
Yeah.
got mowed to where we could,
Well, we already contract out Bunker Hill.
well, that's what we need to know too. A list of what's contracted out, the total number of buildings, what's contracted out, what's
you
not.
know, all the places that we mow and what's contracted and what's not. Maybe we
You
could,
probably need the acres, that way you can put it out there for.
Probably so.
Some
And,
acres that we mow.
and then, like I think Jim brought up, somebody might not want to do Blue Mound, Centerville if they're in Lacine.
right,
Sure.
And then over
broke down
here,
into the areas
Yeah.
to where we know what's in the Blue Mountain.
Do a seasonal
Parker area,
contract?
Centerville, so
Because like Blue
we could do a
Mound, we
seasonal
have
contract.
2 sites in Blue Mound. It'd be the senior center, somebody's already contracted to do that, and it'd be the, road shop, there ain't really nothing there to mow.
is
but
that
it'd
a
be
problem
our-
that we give that to contract to a kid? or
We break it up into different chunks, and it's gotta be somebody who, I think they have to be, if it's they have to be old enough to sign a contract, but
I mean, but and like the insurance and the liability, how does that work?
well, we'd have to require that they be insured.
Sure.
And that's going to end it all right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because there are contracts in cemetery groups and stuff that they're just doing their own thing. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but if you remember Doug wanted the firehouse mowed or whatever, and we had him, and he went out with that contract, and that bill went from $50 to $125 or something like that because
Can we allow them under like an umbrella with us if they are on our property, or how does that work?
well, the other option that you guys talked about some time back that would fit in here is actually having someone on staff as a mower.
Okay.
And this, that
Oh.
person could either be an employee or a contractor, but they would be your mower as opposed, and then
Send them out to do that.
they'd be covered by your insurance.
That would be an idea though. I mean,
If somebody else.
instead of, because if you're a small company or just someone mowing lawns or whatever, which, that'd be a great job for a lot of young kids that want to do that.
Difference between a $30 bill and $100.
Yeah, because,
Exactly, but it gives the kids options in these small towns to do something.
And,
also,
yeah.
too.
so we could actually put them under our umbrella
I think there'd be a way to do it.
I think we can do it too. So we could probably take that burden off of you guys for that.
Okay.
And then all the other maintenance issues that you mentioned, I mean, those are all dollar figures,
Yeah.
you say?
And I just wanted to bring it to your attention because if you don't know about it, then I don't want to throw a big bill
I
out.
don't think a laminate floor of some kind up our Parker could rid that where it comes.
Well, you get to laminate flooring, because I've looked into laminate flooring, it adds up dollars quick.
Mhm.
Not saying it won't, but that's quite a bit of square footage up there.
You can get an elastomeric masonry coating that allows it to breathe. I mean, it might bring a lot of moisture, mean, I guess it'd kind of be wet all the time and slippery, but I don't know.
I'm open for suggestions, cause it's a hassle at times. It's not always, but early spring, it's a hassle. We've had some problems up there. We had a Republican deal up there here a while back, and where they was standing, that glue was coming up through that
That's what I
tile.
heard about it's their feet stuck to the floor.
Yeah, but, well, because that glue residue was coming through, I couldn't stop.
We didn't want them to leave.
But I'm staying.
You know, so that's where I have a big issue with, and the steeple and the shingles are coming off the steeple.
And that'll have to be contracted out, and it will have to go through historic, whatever,
Yeah, kind of.
restoration type thing.
Yeah, and I can work with you and give you some names on that. About the lake house, though.
Yeah,
I mean, we have a renter in it now. We
Yes, sir.
We don't even have a contract up there right now, right? And as far as,
On the park, it's supposed to still be coming. I haven't seen it.
what is
yet.
it, a $20,000 improvement we're gonna need, you think?
You talking about a metal roof?
Or just a roof, right?
RA roof. 'cause
Do we know if it leaks or not? We haven't been inside because they probably, Oh, have you?
Quite a few times,
Okay.
'cause I've had to do some work on it. I had a water line, I got called a water line that bursted down in the basement. Actually, when they built the house and they added the basement walls in cause it's finished basement downstairs, part of it. And when they raised up it was a 2x6 wall that they raised up, but when they raised it up, it actually pinched the 3/4 copper line, and the line didn't freeze. But after a long period of time, it was hard for me to find at the beginning. But I had to cut the 2x6 wall part of it out because it would pinch the water line up and it had split in due time. It was copper, and I had to get in there and fix that. Then we cleaned up the water, and the gentleman that was living there, I cleaned up the best I could, and he said, "Oh, don't worry about the rest of it. I'll clean it." But we replaced a condenser unit on the outside of that house last year. That had to be fixed, and but other than that, if I don't take care of that roof, we're gonna have further issues down the road.
I mean, is it beneficial to have the house?
I think.
what
down
do you want to
the
do?
road,
Tear it down?
I know there's
I mean,
been
we
a
don't
lot
think
of
we need to
talks.
be in the room.
Upstairs, the house is really nice.
Yeah.
But I know there's a lot of talks and everything else, but to me, if we're not gonna have a manager living there like what Bruce did years ago, that we take that house and use it as a rental house for a big family to come in there and rent the place out weekly,
Yeah.
weekends,
Kind of like the cabins, yeah.
kind of like the cabins.
Yeah.
But I know, there was talks one time of having a deputy live in there to help control through the park more too, you know? and-
I agree. I think we should utilize it, or I don't
The
know.
house is a nice house, and the water lines, the meters and everything are all right there that control that whole park.
Okay. We'll have to figure out what
Yeah,
we're gonna do with that.
that's down the road.
But getting a good list of the sites you want mowed, that's important. And
That's
who's
easy.
under contract? Could you get us that by next week?
Yes. And I can give that to Sean to present to you.
Okay.
and then as far as the repairs on the courthouse,
I can help with that.
I say that because it's historical.
right,
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
and the
just-
other part, we walked through with Goldberg when we was looking at all that, and we was doing all this stuff at the beginning. Down in the basement, it had flooded years back. Not since I've been here, but before me. And when it held the water, it deteriorated the rock, the lower section of the rock in that building. And that was supposed to have been in, I thought, in part of that deal, maybe have the masonaries take care of that area down there. I'm not for sure, but at some time or another, that probably needs addressed. Because of settlements.
And then I'm going back to the cleaning and stuff. Should we have him put together something for a lady to like do the health department and the the building over here, and are we gonna wait until everything opens and then just figure out who's gonna clean it or what?
It's a good point. I mean,
But like right now, me and Danny, or I do, and I've had complaints, I'm not gonna lie. The, attorney, Linn down there, he was complaining that things didn't get cleaned. Well, yeah, cause I was gone, I had to do other things too. But normally I clean that down there, the CO office, which we got both of them buildings down there. And then I clean here, and Danny cleans the courthouse and does trash and all the other different running that we do too. And I've been trying to concentrate on most of the maintenance.
I just feel like we're gonna have a,
so why don't you get together and do a proposal for, so we can put a proposal together for a contract to
Did we
do cleaning?
not used to have an evening janitor? I mean, somebody
Not
worked for
that I
noon to
did.
8 or
Do you
something.
know, David?
I did back years ago.
Yeah.
Did that work pretty well, or did it,
I think it can work pretty
I
well.
mean, if you,
we
like
have the
noon
right
to 8 or
person in
something?
position.
Sometimes when things were unsupervised,
Yeah.
things didn't get done.
Yeah.
Is
I
that
don't
a
even,
fair statement?
And then the other fair thing to state too is, there's liability issues, and some of the people don't want everything open unless they're there, because
Sure.
of confidentiality and stuff. And I totally agree with a lot of that.
well, then they have to clean their own office then.
And what I do is, if I don't have a bunch of work orders or something, and Danny's gone or whatever, I try to go through and sweep the courthouse while they're in there. And it's just the way it has to be. I try to start every day at 6:30 because I try to get all this stuff clean, especially through the winter before everybody gets here to have the sidewalks and stuff cleaned. And then Danny stays here till 5. So,
Though even with like with the judicial facility, we'll have somebody around there. I mean, if they work from noon till 4 here and then move to the,
yeah, well, right now,
They can
the
deliver.
the court over there, district court, they did hire out a staff, somebody from around here that would clean over there, and the state pays that. So, but that's a whole new
We
ballgame.
pay it, but it's out of their budget.
It's out of their budget. But so when we go over here, to my personal opinion, it needs to be somebody hired to take care of that facility because of the confidentiality stuff. Just the liability stuff that you can hold somebody accountable that's not a contract person. Now, maybe I'm wrong.
But being in an environment that I was in, it just takes somebody to go around with them. So at every embassy, top secret information's everywhere. It's laying out. Our charter force would be a company that we hired, but somebody escorted them through all the areas. So that could be done in the evening.
Sure.
Sheriff's deputy or whatever,
Somebody.
or someone part-time or whatever that's
Yeah.
got a law enforcement background can walk those. If it's office, if they don't want to clean, they put the trash outside the door, whatever their office, and they worry about the
I
vacuum.
just think would be beneficial to us. So if we did have somebody working from the noon to 8 or noon to
Sure,
8:30,
sure.
that would give us some evening. We got cameras everywhere, don't we?
Well, you got cameras over there, yeah, but not in a lot of office areas do you have cameras.
But you're talking a lot, not just here, we're talking about cleanings.
Period.
You've got cleaning at the cabins that's currently going on. And you've got, and the house, if we took it over, and then you maybe cleaning Bunker Hall or
Health
Hill or whatever.
department.
And what's that?
The health
I
department.
think it's a
And the health
full-time
department
job.
once in a- So I mean, those are,
I think it's a full-time job
or you could hire a couple people at part-time,
to go different places.
full-time.
I just feel like that maintenance and that cleaning is different. And I know I don't know how many more years you're going to be here or Danny, but I don't want to be dealing with this like 6 months, but I don't want to be dealing with this anymore. I think it's time to get something together.
Then the other thing I need to get together is it's been postponed and postponed and postponed, but summer's gonna be here. Is the Pleasanton, do I put in 2 new condenser units over there for them units?
Danny's gonna have that figured out for you.
These two are gonna agree with me this time.
But, you know, it's one of the things I gotta keep them cool. And you know, 2 condenser units and we just
Well,
roll
well,
on
that's-
like we have for umpteen.
That's the little things that the maintenance should be doing instead of cleaning and things like that. You gotta go around checking all that stuff and give you guys time to do that.
But like me, I can't add the condensers or add Freon because I'm not.
Right, right. No, I understand that, but you know what I'm saying? It's just little things like that.
You knock your pay down there, yes.
Cleaning.
And, you know, and here, real quick, I'll be helping Chris too over here in the Justice Center with some of the IT stuff, helping putting up cameras and stuff as well.
So we know we need a mowing contract done, prepared right away for the summer,
We're
so.
gonna do that per district or town, right? Like,
Well, we look into it, see, or, you know, it just depends what,
And I'd have to go probably through Mr. Lane because
Yeah.
he'll have who we have contract. I don't think we got very many contracted out anymore. 2?
But I mean, we just need to get that resolved. And then we also need to look at a cleaning contract for different things
And then he wanted some go-ahead on blade for the,
and a blade. Can you check some prices on blades?
Sure.
That'll fit on our,
summer.
what's that?
So buy it in the summertime.
Yeah, you can buy a lot of them cheap. But, you know, it's just simple little things that,
what about a blade on a, we have a skid steer. I'm just saying that, what about a blade on a skid steer? Would that, I mean,
But you'd want it there that morning is what he's gonna end up saying, right?
Sean,
Unless you just go down here and get it.
well, Sean's
at the
wanting
shop.
2 other skid
that's
steers.
what I'm talking about. They're
I mean,
talking
we
skid
could
steer,
keep one-
you know, I mean,
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
just,
they're great. You can't beat them.
you can't, yeah.
And they're small and
you could swing it around a lot quicker than,
Because the brush that we got now in the front of the grasshopper, like the other day when we had the good snowstorm here and I was out there with it, it just blows all over you. And you're getting cold when you're done.
That's okay.
oh, so you got one on the grasshopper?
it's a brush.
I'm just messing with you.
But, but it does a good job of
Right.
doing the whole parking lot out there for the.
Well, and then you'll have this parking lot to do
I have a
too.
nice little
Yeah.
blaze in front of a 4-wheeler like that long.
Yeah,
Pretty nice.
Okay.
they're just questions I had.
So if you had that though, I mean, if you did that and you're talking about, cleaning other areas out too, so that,
We need a
You'd have-
one for that though, wouldn't we? For the,
3/4 ton truck, is plenty. My truck, I can't do it with because I'm 2-wheel drive and a half
too
ton
heavy
truck.
on the front, yeah.
So,
yeah,
I'd say we throw it on my truck, but that ain't gonna happen.
okay. I don't know. I mean, I was thinking the skid steer would be smart, but if he's gonna go to different areas outside Mound City,
Well, I
Would
think
be-
it would just be a pleasure and a help to all of our
Yeah.
senior centers
yeah,
as well. Because that's where one of our liabilities are too.
gotcha.
So thank you guys.
Thank you.
thanks for coming in.
You bet.
Find
How
some-
long? How long do we need?
building here. Shouldn't take longer than what you have. It's here, here, 10 on what she's got, and then was there something else you guys need?
Tack on, just to add 15 total.
15 total? What's it for personnel on 10 and 5 for
What we
No,
have is for
15 personnel? Okay,
she's never done 10 minutes.
make a motion, we go in executive session for 15 minutes for personnel.
Okay.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Aye.
Do we anticipate after that?
back this week with this. Come on.
Like, it's not been even a good day, so.
It'll get better.
Hey, we're getting ready to adjourn, right?
I think so.
Hang on, I got something.
I don't have anything else.
No action from the executive session. Anything else?
No.
Well, I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Moving second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You and I.